Hey, it's Stephanie with the Stephanie O Show West, and we're here again at K98.3, and it's like kills me not to say K-Joy, but I'm not going to say it. I'm just going to say K98.3, and I'm so happy to be here with you. It's freezing. I don't understand what's going on here in New York, but this is way too cold for me. I need at least 10 to 20 degrees more. So I'm hoping that after this freeze ends, we'll just have this quick freeze, and then we're all going to feel the heat. But they say New Year's is going to be the coldest New Year's. So tonight is going to be, because this is Sunday, and it is New Year's Eve tonight, it's going to be the coldest New Year's Eve, I think, on record. So let's see what happens, because looks like we're going to be in for it. But this is such a relevant topic we have today, and especially at this time of the year, because everybody's thinking in terms of, what am I going to do different for the coming year? You know, here we are, everybody reflects, we're ending 2017, we're coming into a brand new year of 2018, and we think to ourselves, what can we change? How can we better ourselves? What can we do different? And I know everybody looks at themselves, male or female, and says, well, the first thing everybody wants to do is make their body better. Because no matter how good your body is, and no matter how much you put into your body, you always want to make it better. Well, at least I do. And I'm sure you do too. And today we have a very interesting topic, because we're going to talk about personal fitness. Now, I know the first thing you think about is all these known gyms and how they're trying to pull you in. It's the beginning of the year. We have this special and that special, and it's spectacular. You have to come and we'll save you this fee, and you don't have to pay the initiation fee, and we'll give you a special yearly fee. But my question to you is, do those gyms work? Or do they pull you in, get you to sign these long-term contracts, and they don't work? And after a month or two, you kind of look at yourself and say, wow, there's nothing different. And in fact, sometimes people gain weight. And you know why? Because now they're like working out crazy with no plan in mind whatsoever, just like going in there and running. I see people running like crazy people. I'm like, what is wrong with these people? And they run out and they want to eat quickly, and everything becomes on the fast pace instead of everything being planned. Because the right way to work out, and I'm somewhat of an expert myself because I'm doing this since I'm 17 years old. I've gone through 7 pregnancies working out, and I mean pregnancies in the day where people used to come up to me and say, this is wrong. You're doing the wrong thing. What are you doing? You're going to hurt the baby. Well, I don't know how much I hurt the babies, because my son's a plastic surgeon, my other son's a lawyer, and my other children also are doing just as well. So I want to introduce you to the expert, because I'm just the expert as far as the person who takes the classes. But I'm not that guy or girl who teaches you how to do the right thing, so that you get the most out of your experience in the gym. That you're not just walking in, and it's almost like it's the generic gym when you go into those big gyms versus the real pill. Like I always want the real pill. I don't want that generic pill that's like half the strength. I want the real pill, the one that's going to make me feel better. This is the place that will make you feel better. These little boutique-y gyms that teach you not only how to work out, but how to eat right, and how to combine all these things so that they work hand in hand and they work together to make you the best you can be. Listen, if you're 50, you're not going to look 20. Get over it. You're not. But you can be the best 50-year-old that you can be. And that's what you need, these small personalized gyms. So I want to introduce you to Mery, who's a personal trainer. He's at Personal One Fitness, which I believe is in Garden City.
Mineola.
Mineola, Garden City.
Same thing.
They're all the same. They're like a combination to me. But I want to introduce you to him, and I want to hear his words, wise words of wisdom. Am I right?
You are 100% right. Now, especially this time of year, you're going to see, like you said, the big box gyms, 0% fee on this, come in, make special deals, all this stuff. I mean, I worked for a big box gym. I worked for Crunch in the City for a while. And I mean, that's the gimmick. That's their game.
Right.
It works for some people, so you can't knock them. They do what they have to do.
Very slim, though, I would think.
But their game at the end of the day is, we'll sign everyone in January. Hopefully February we kind of see you, and then by March, let's face it, it's no one's at the gym in March.
Right.
And the reason why they do it is very simple. It's overhead. They don't have to keep up overhead. They get locked you in for a long-term deal, and then they make it. Then when you're kind of willy-nilly, oh, I can go in whenever, it makes it much more difficult to stay on track and keep with your routine.
Right.
It's not easy to work out. I mean, it's something that you have to consciously make an effort to do. And one of the things I always tell my clients is the hardest thing to do is walk through the front door. After that, we'll take care of the rest.
Right.
You know, we'll get you the motivation you need. We'll get you, everything as far as the plan, nutrition, everything else. So I mean, it's definitely that time of year where everybody's trying to make that initial effort to make it go, which is great.
Right.
But they just need help with the follow through. Most people.
See, for me, and I tell this to people who ask me, how do you stay in such good shape? It's a lifestyle. Like,
Absolutely.
I feel if I don't work out that day, I don't feel like me. I feel like something's missing in my lifestyle. It's almost like not having dinner or not breathing. I need to work out every day.
It's also part of your brain chemistry. Once you work out, serotonin and endorphins release, and it actually brings up your mood, brings up your boost. You actually feel more energized throughout the day.
Right.
So it isn't just kind of doing it for the weight loss aspect of it. It's also for a lifestyle, like you said.
Right, and I do feel a chemical imbalance almost when I don't work out.
Yeah.
I feel depressed. I feel angry at myself. Like I go through this whole guilt trip amongst myself. I'm like, and it's silly, but I've made it my lifestyle because, first of all, it's good for you. I feel like I think better. It makes me more clear-minded. And I personally don't go to a big box gym. And I don't go for a number of reasons. Number one, I don't think they care about you as a person at all. You are just a dollar bill. They might as well make you into a dollar sign when you walk in that door, because that's about all you are.
One of my things I always say is, if you see more than 20 treadmills in a certain location, run.
Run quickly.
Away, not on the treadmill, run away.
Right, run away,
That's probably
run.
not the place for you.
You know what else I wanted to talk about, though? When we talk about big gyms versus a boutique gym, I had a couple of experiences in big gyms before I realized that's not the right place for me, where I was injured. I went to some of these boot camps. Now, I want to tell you and you're the perfect person, and people out there, so I can tell you my boot camp experience as well. So, you hear about all these boot camps, and you're thinking, wow, boot camp. Okay, that sounds like something that would, instantly make me better than I was when I walked through that door. Because, you think of, Marines and Army and
20 million pull-ups and
right?
30,000 push-ups.
Right, and those guys look so good. You're like, wow, that's what I want. So I go into this class, and it's a boot camp, and everybody's pushing everybody. Well, that's all good as long as you can do these things.
Yeah.
However, what they had me do was lift this tire. Now, this was this huge tire. If you can imagine, let me draw this picture for you. You know those big tractor trailers? They have these huge tires on them that have lots of ridges in them?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they had this laying on the ground, and they're all yelling, you can do it, you can do it, you can. And I'm lifting, and I'm lifting, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to do this. And they're all, come on, come on. Well, I finally lifted up, and I did something to my stomach. I tore something.
Yeah.
That I was out of commission literally for 6 months. It took 6 months. I couldn't bend. I couldn't breathe properly. And it was stupid. There's no reason I should have even attempted that. It was out of my league. It was out of my range.
One of the things we always try to preach is don't lift with your ego.
Right.
Live smart. And that's kind of a big one where people just love stacking plates on, which is great. It looks good for the picture. But at the end of the day, are you really doing damage to the muscle the correct way? And in your case, you probably tore an abdominal, or you can even have done the worst and hurt your back. So without lifting with proper form, it's just a recipe for disaster.
Right.
With those tractor tailors, I've done them too. In training, just kind of messing around. But you got to have the right technique. Hips down. Get down low, get under it. Don't lift. Lift with your legs, not with your back.
Right.
We have in our gym we have a sled. We like stacking little weights on those. But again, you customize it to what the client can do or what the person can do more than anything, because you don't want to kill them.
Right. Well, don't you? And also, when you want to build muscle and when you're building muscle, you don't build muscle in one lift.
No, not at all.
And people have that wrong idea that they're going to go to the gym for a week and they're going to, they're going to look like Popeye.
They're going to do that 1 rep max and lift it raw. Boom,
Right.
Throw the thing
And
down
the muscles
and
are going to be like bulging out of their shirt. What does it take to build muscle?
to build muscle, you have to technically destroy the muscle, you're tearing apart muscle fibers. And what happens when you tear apart the muscle fibers, they rebuild. And when they rebuild, they rebuild a little bit bigger and a little bit stronger with the interconnection. So when you're lifting, sometimes it depends on cadence, sometimes it depends on reps. It really depends on what you're really looking for. If you really want to get big, you're looking more for hypertrophy, which is a swelling of the muscle and engorgement. If you're looking to kind of lean out, you want to go a little bit higher weight, a little less weight, higher reps.
Right.
And that's just going to build more lean muscle. And there's a bunch of different techniques with your pace. Some people love throwing the weights up, as fast as they can on their bench press, and you're not doing anything. You're using momentum in that case. One of the things I love to do is 4-second positive, 6-second negatives.
Right.
4 seconds on the way up, 6 seconds on the way down on the bench press. And it just creates more tension in the muscle fibers, and it makes it help build and create a more sustainable build as far as muscle size and strength goes.
Well, that's important. And I know your gym caters to all ages.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. I mean, we cater from young athletes to senior citizens that are just looking to do balance work. I have a couple of clients that I love. I mean, they love working with them. They're a little bit older, and all they want to do is just not fall.
Right.
What I always tell them is that's balance. Balance is the ability to catch yourself without falling, whether it's putting your foot down, whether it's catching yourself on a plane or something, and that's very important. I mean, sidewalks aren't even. We don't live on a flat earth.
Right.
And everything is, rigid. Everything's moving, and like you said, you fall, you got hurt. How long were you out of commission?
6 months.
6 months. That's what
6 months.
I have a client who fell before she came to us. She was out for 7 months. Broke her
And
neck.
I mean, I was really out of commission. I lifted that, and I knew right after I lifted that something happened. The next day, I literally couldn't get out of bed for a week.
Yeah, see, that's just everybody in that, mindset mentality where everybody's just pushing towards helping you without actually teaching you and guiding you.
Right.
You probably could have lifted it because you did it.
Right.
But if they would have just changed 2-3 little points on the way you were lifting it,
Right.
would have made all the difference in the
No.
world.
And they were so quick to video it, and they wanted to make such a big deal of it that I was able to do it, but I really got hurt. And that was my turning point when I said, you know what, this is not the way to do this. It's silly, it's foolish, and you need people around you who care about what you're doing.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why I like these boutique gyms. Now take me through a day. So a person comes to your gym and there's somebody who hasn't worked out, because you have a lot of people out there that are listening that are thinking to themselves, this is making, because if I was home, I always think of myself as the general public. I always thought of myself that I'm an attorney by trade. When I try a case, I always try and put myself in there and say, well, I'm the juror. I'm the general public. I'm sitting out there and I say, you know what? This woman is making sense. The things she's saying sound good. They sound plausible. And Carlos is making sense. He sounds plausible. So I want to go there. I want to check it out. And I'm scared. I'm scared to get to that door, because that's the hardest thing, to get from your car, and especially now with the cold weather.
Oh,
But
yeah.
let's say it's a little warmer out. But I got to get from the car to that front door. So I get to that door. What should I expect?
As soon as you walk through the front door, I mean, like you said, we're not huge, so you can't really get lost. Typical client, we open at 5 o'clock in the morning for those early birds. And
Is that every day?
every
5
day.
days?
Every
7
day.
days?
7 days a week.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
great.
We try to cater to our clients. I mean, that's, everything in our gym is done by appointment. We do that because studies have shown that if you schedule an appointment, it's just like a doctor visit. If you schedule it, you're going to go.
Right.
If you just say, I'm going to show up to the gym after work sometime, you're going to drive right by it.
Right. Especially if it's cold out.
Yeah. I'll go tomorrow, I'll go next week.
Okay, exactly.
But with us, you schedule an appointment. So let's say you have a 5:30 appointment. You walk in maybe 10-15 minutes before. You get on the tread, put your coat down. We have little cubbies, everything, to kind of store your stuff away. Come
Right.
in, get on the treadmill for maybe 5 minutes, kind of get a little loose, a little warm, shake off the cold from the outside. And then one of our trainers will come up and obviously greet you. And then from there, we take you through your workout, depending on, again, what you're looking for is what we work on.
And you also see what the person's capabilities are
Exactly.
versus somebody who's been working out versus somebody who, has been a couch potato for the past 30 years and just love my voice. And they say, we have to do this because she said so.
The first thing we do when you walk through the door as a brand new client is we take you through an overhead squat assessment, which is basically checking out the kinetic chain. You'd be surprised how many people have something they don't even realize. So when you're squatting, your hips might shift left, You might twist your knees in, your arms might fall forward. It's a bunch of little things that we look at to kind of see what's happening. A lot of people I see usually their hip shift or they lean towards a certain way. And you ask them, have you ever hurt your ankle or have you ever hurt your knee? And they'll go, oh yeah, when I was like 16, I was playing basketball, I sprained my ankle. Well, little by little that adds up. So what ends up happening is the body's designed to move and to get the job done. So your hips end up and your knees start shifting to the other side to compensate for what got hurt.
Right.
So the key is for me is kind of balancing it back out, working on the other side to get you back in line so that those injuries don't keep on occurring. Right. And that's usually what most injuries are. It's something people don't realize and they keep doing the same motion, and that's when you get hurt more for longer periods of time.
Can you also take somebody who comes in and says, I haven't worked out, but I want to lean out and I want to build muscle? I know it's not just working out.
No.
I know there's another component to this, because if it was just working out, it would be a piece of cake if we could eat cake and everything else that we wanted to eat. But unfortunately, and I know that a lot of people think that if I work out for an hour, I can eat anything and everything my little heart desires. Yeah. Because people say that to me all the time. They're like, oh, you go work out so you can just eat whatever you want. But that's really not the case. Even with working out, if you look at it, how many calories you burn in an hour versus how much one piece of cake is, rather than the whole entire cake. And I know everybody out there knows exactly what I'm talking about, because we just had the holidays. I was sitting there with this amazing chocolate pudding cake, and they had those, those whipped cream like hills on it, where they look so good. It's all the whipped cream on top of the chocolate pudding.
Did you have the cherry on top too?
Yes, and with the cherry on top. And you know what happens? Like, first you scoop out one of those little whipped cream hills, and you're like, wow, that was really good, but it's very light. I'm sure it's not that many calories. Then you hit the next whipped cream hill, and before you know it, there's no whipped cream hills left on the cake. And then you're down to the chocolate pudding, and you eat a little bit here, a little there. And you think, okay, I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to work out for an hour and just burn this right off.
Yeah, that's a fraction of probably what that hour is going to burn.
Not good, huh?
Not good.
That's not working? Is that what you're telling me?
Listen, again, half the battle is nutrition. And, in our facility, that's included in the program. Because I've been doing this for over 12 years, and, one, like you said, they go hand in hand. You can't do one without the other. We have a certified nutritionist on staff. She takes you through kind of what your daily day looks like, what your week looks like, and we try to set up the best situation for you to succeed. We don't believe in diets. Crash diets don't work, especially these 14-day, 15-day miracle diets that come out
silly.
now. Yeah, you're gonna do it for about 3-4 days, and then you're gonna go binge because you just deprived yourself of everything you liked for 4 days.
Right.
It's moderation. It's portion control. You can eat your chocolate pudding cake, but sharing is caring. With stuff like that.
And you definitely can't start with the hills.
Yeah,
cream hills.
Yeah.
I think the key is to cut that piece out, so that you don't work your way around the entire.
It's part
cake.
of the equation. It's part of the equation. You can have it, just don't have, like you said, don't have the whole mountain of whipped cream. Cut it in half. Start with that, and then after that you cut that in half, and after that you cut that in half, and then little by little you realize it's not even there anymore.
Right.
Because in reality, what you get addicted to is the sugar.
Right.
And that's what that kind of that taste, and that's what makes you want to eat it. And the new studies have shown that sugar is insanely addictive. It's being shown to be more addictive than certain drugs. So it's one of those things that we have to fight now in the fitness industry, because people just don't realize that, and they don't realize how much sugar is actually in their food. Right.
That's very, very true. Because I've been buying these cookies. I don't know if you know these cookies.
Oh yes, the protein cookies.
There's so much sugar in them.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, for the meal supplement part of that, it's obviously not ideal.
Right.
I know we live in a quick grab world.
Right.
You are better off doing a little meal prep, and that's one of the biggest things I preach. It's the way I find personally success is, me and my wife will cook on Sunday together, and we'll kind of make, a long-term plan for the week. Put everything in little Tupperware and, hide in the fridge, so that way when I do need to just kind of grab something on the go, I pull it out and I have everything kind of prepared as far as my portions and my vegetables.
Sure. See, people who succeed all tell the same story about preparation.
Preparation is a huge part of it. Everybody has, the junk cubby. Everybody has a junk shelf.
Right.
The idea
comfort
is
food.
The comfort food, yeah. The idea is either taking that and eliminating it by half, or replacing it with stuff that is actually better for you.
Right.
You know, lot more protein-filled stuff, a lot more I like beef jerky. I know it's a ton of sodium, so I can't really do too much of it.
Right.
But again, it's just one of those nice little quick snacks that I can grab on the go. There's some great alternatives out there that don't have any sugar. They're not as processed as normal places. You can find all that stuff online, and there's so much information out there right now. With the internet,
Right.
it's just it's making conscious decisions. You
Right.
can think
Sure.
about it. Should I have that? Google. I always laugh. My kids, I would Google it. They ask me a
Right.
question. That's it. You have it right there at your fingertips. It's more accessible than any time in history, I think.
What are the better snacks to eat? Because listen, we all like snacks, and I'm not going to deprive myself of snacks either.
You can't.
But are there certain snacks that are better than other snacks? Because you hear almonds, but like, who's going to sit down and eat 6 almonds? Give me a break. You look at these diets and say, have 6 almonds? What are you talking about? 6? What am I supposed to bite them in little itty tidbits of almonds? 6 almonds, that's not even a handful to put in your mouth.
You'd be surprised by actually switching some of those snacks for actually just water.
Right.
Sometimes, it's the same brain signal that goes. So if you just drink a little bit more water, it actually suppresses that snacking crave. That's one of the biggest tips I can give. Pretty much, we don't drink enough water.
Right, absolutely.
It's a lot of soda. Gatorade is promoted as the end all be all for athletes.
Right.
But Gatorade was designed for high performance athletes that are taking their bodies to the brink of exhaustion, brink of pretty much tearing down till they can't go anymore.
Mm-hmm.
A kid at 14 years old, after a soccer practice, really shouldn't be drinking a Gatorade.
Right.
You should just drink a water. It's
Right.
a lot more replenishing. It'll help him gain a lot more. And that's the biggest success, I think. I do a lot of soccer coaching
Right.
as well. And especially with my youth kids, with my youth academy camps, we try to install habits from a young age.
Sure. Well, that it's interesting you say that. That brings me to my next question. What about obese youth today? I know there's a big problem
It's
with
an
it.
epidemic. It's
Right.
an epidemic. There's no
How do you
sugarcoating that.
start? When do you start? And what do you start? It's a topic that people don't know what to do. There are parents who are sitting there with their children. They try and put them in sports, and it's an interesting theory because you have this obese child. You try and put them in sports. They don't get a lot of playtime.
No.
Why? Because they haven't been out there enough. They're not as good as the other kids
Mhm.
a lot of the times, and that's not all the time, so nobody send me hate mail, because that's not all the time. I'm just trying to put out a hypothetical. So the hypothetical is this child's not getting a lot of playtime,
Mhm.
and the mother is doing the best and the father the best they can, taking this child to different activities. What do you do? What's next?
I have 3 kids. Well, 2 and 1 on the way. So
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. My older daughter is not very athletic. She's an artist. She's like her mom. She loves to paint. She loves to draw.
Right.
But it's simple little things where, hey, take the dog out for a walk. It's better than her sitting in a room, kind of just on her phone.
Right.
And with kids especially, I think the hardest thing to do is find something that they like. Not every kid's an athlete.
Right.
Not every kid. I hate to break it to most parents, but 1% of the U.S. population is going to become like a professional athlete.
Right.
And that's just the sheer numbers. I do, like I said, I do a lot of soccer.
So you get to see all the crazy soccer moms.
Yeah, let's just put it at that.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks their kid's gonna be the next Messi. Everybody thinks their kid's gonna be the next LeBron James.
Right.
And
Even though they're 5'2".
yeah,
Right.
and I do the same. I see it with my little one. My little
Mhm.
one is Athena. She's a little more of an athlete, so
Right.
I think she's gonna be the next Mia Hamm. In my head. So I try not to push that too much. But
Right.
with kids, it's as far as the nutrition goes.
Yeah.
Why would you give your kids any less than the best? And take it from them. If you don't want to feed your kid a high sugary snack, chances are you shouldn't be eating it as well.
Right.
And that's kind of where I think the big disconnect goes. Where, I was reading an interesting article the other day on kids menus. Why do you have a kids menu in a restaurant?
Right.
Look, have you ever looked at the kids menu? It's fried food. It's plain pasta with either
Or macaroni
and
and
cheese.
That's a big one.
Kids can eat food. It's
Right.
not against the rules for them to have a meal.
Right.
They can they can share from your plate, or you can get them just a regular meal. Hey, you save it for the next day.
Right.
And again, that's setting them up for success. Obviously, companies are out there, you know, with Frosted Flakes and all those kind of stuff, you know, with caricatures to kind of get them, you know,
Yeah,
hooked
of course,
in and
the
looped
colors,
in.
the
color.
caricatures,
That's by design. That's not an
Yeah.
accident. So especially with kids, I mean, they're the mirror of you. So if they
Right.
see you making bad choices, they're going to end up doing the same.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. And I know, you know, it always comes to, I'm always watching the time, and people can't see me in here because this is radio, and we're coming down to the last few minutes, and there's so many other things I want to ask you, because it's such a pleasure to have an expert sitting across from me, and it's not somebody who really doesn't understand this whole situation. And believe me, this is a situation because it's something you have to put time into. This just doesn't come to you. It's a commitment. There's a commitment to diet. There's a commitment to exercise. There's a commitment to saying no, because that's part of it. We all go to parties. We all go to events. And, you know, like, I try and make wise choices myself. Like, I would love to have a Cosmo. I love Cosmos. But if you look, I mean, take a look. And we're all going into New Year's Eve tonight. So you take a look how many calories a Cosmo is. And you know what? I'll order a vodka and club soda.
Yeah, I'm a tequila on the rocks kind of guy.
Well, they say, you know, and it's interesting, and I guess we're going to spend our last minute on this because it is New Year's Eve. So
I gotta celebrate.
let's talk about, are you familiar with this whole thing about tequila, where they say tequila is the best thing to drink? Is that really true? I want to know that.
For me, yes. For me, that's my go-to.
Why? Why did you pick that?
I love the taste. I
Okay.
can't lie. You know, lime. I love the limes on it. It's clean. I like, you know, tequila blanco. I don't like añejo, any of that kind of stuff. It's just a clean taste.
I just like the way you say that. Forget about the drink. Just the way you said it, tequila blanco. When you say it like that, I definitely want it.
It's not bad. On the rocks with 3 limes is the way to go. My uncle taught me that one. Again, it's not with all the added stuff. Like a Cosmo has all the extra ingredients and it has the extra sugars and all that kind. And you know, that's
it's
what.
It's pretty though. It's pink.
It is pretty. It's pretty, but you feel it the next day and
Right.
the day after that. So I mean, it's, you know, again, it's the decisions. Like you said, if you want to get a Cosmo, get a Cosmo, but just get one. Then you know, if you want to drink something else and make a little better choice, that's fine too.
Right.
You know, it's moderation. You know, everything in moderation, even moderation. And that's one of the things I always kind of say too.
Right.
Because the rest, you get bored of it. If you constrict yourself too much, you're never going to sustain it. It's not going to be something that you're going to be able to carry through as a lifestyle. Right. It's going to be something you're going to crash for 30 days for this whole January, you know, block, and then February comes and everything goes out the window again because you go back to your habits because you feel like you're deprived. And when you feel deprived, you're not going to succeed.
Right. That's very true. But, you know, people do want, one of the things that people say is, well, I can't be on a diet because I like to have my glass of wine. And I'm sure you must hear that.
Yeah.
Because, you know, adults like to, chill and have a glass of wine or have a drink. And most people feel, well, I can't be on a diet because I need to have that drink. Can people have drinks?
Of course.
And they're not going to gain 20 pounds?
Of course. And again, it's that moderation. It's that step by step, not really, you know, going overboard. If you're going to have a glass of wine, that's fine. Just make a better choice on something else.
Right.
So it kind of almost balances itself out a little bit. You know, just don't have the whole bottle. You know,
And do you have one thing that you want to tell people that you feel may stick with them and why they should come to a gym? Basically, I think a boutique gym, your gym in fact, more than anything, Personal One Fitness, how we can find you, where we can find you, and why they should come there.
One of the biggest things I can always tell clients is consistency. Whether you come to me, whether you go to a big box gym, you know, again, the hardest thing to do is walk through the front door. If you can train yourself to make it part of your daily routine, you're going to find success. You know, as far as for us, if you need some help kind of guiding, there's a little more guidance, you need kind of a little, you know, kick in the butt, as they say, I guess. You know, you can find me at personal1fitness.com, located in Mineola, New York, right on Jericho Turnpike in front of the Mineola Bike Shop. And 516-294-3020. If anybody wants to call, if we do free consultations, you know, no charge, no commitment, just come in. We'll kind of give you an assessment, see where where your mind is, where your body is, and then we can make a game plan from there.
And it seems as though everybody is professional there.
Yeah.
They know what they're talking about. Because in the last minute, I just want to warn people that another thing with gyms is you don't know who you're getting, and you really don't know what the credentials are of that person, other than what you're being told, that here's your personal trainer. And I think that's another thing, and I thought about this myself even, that you should be able to see what this person's credentials are, so that you know you're getting the best that you can.
There is a science behind it. It's not just pick things up and put them down, as the commercial says.
Right.
We have a great staff, thankfully. All our trainers have been doing it for over 10 years. We're NASM certified. We've seen a lot. Obviously,
Right.
everybody's different.
Sure.
So I'm always seeing new things, which I love, which is why I love my job. It keeps it exciting, keeps it interesting,
Right.
keeps kind of my mind going on how we can help. But like you said, you got to make sure you're with people that help you.
Right, exactly.
As long as you feel like you're being supported and you're being helped and you're getting pushed in the right direction, that's the place for you.
Well, when you make your resolution, after all of this, you better be calling Personal One Fitness, because there's no other better place. And this way you'll start the year off right, and you won't just stop. So that's the place to go, and that's it. Another show comes to an end. Everybody have a very, very happy New Year. Be careful tonight. Don't drive. Whatever you do, take an Uber, get home some other way. Do not drive your car. Whatever you do, enjoy yourself. I mean, you can go overboard tonight. I'm giving permission. It's Stephanie with the Stephanie O Show on K98.3 KJoy, and we'll be back next week.